Hi, I'm Dr. Amber. I am a small animal rehabilitation vet who specializes in healthy aging and advanced pet care. And I thought today one of the questions we would ask is how do we know it's time? We do a lot of hospice, a lot of end of life, a lot of chronic degenerative conditions here. And it is something that comes up often. It's tough because there is no strict right or wrong. It's more of a feeling. So, how I usually approach discussing this, and again, my clinic's kind of unique. I usually know my patients and my clients before we have this conversation, but one of the first ways we start to talk about is it getting close to being time is I like to try to get some data, and I like to try to get some data from everyone in the household. And how I do this is with different measures. So sometimes it's a quality of life scale where you rate each category on a 1 to 10, and I get a number on how they're doing, and I get an area that they're not doing well in sometimes. And why I like to have everyone in the house do it is often everyone's on the same page with things are okay or not okay. But it's hard to have that conversation, especially if it is a shared pet, especially if there's children involved, especially if you've been fighting an illness or disease for a while. It is hard to be the one to bring up the conversation if we're not winning anymore. Other ones I like, and Lap of Love has some great ones that you can download online as well, is a geriatric questionnaire. Kind of looks at every aspect of their daily life to see where they're winning and whether they're not. Or a daily diary. And why I like the daily diaries is you keep track of your big mobility, nutrition, hydration, attitude, social interaction, elimination, and favorite things. And you track it over a week because it's not fair to make decisions on 1 day or 2 days, but it is more of trends, right? We're looking for trends. And why I like to get data is because I can follow data. I can see if we can improve certain points. I can see if our treatments are working. I can see if we are getting the desired result. But ultimately, deciding whether it is time is a deeply emotional decision. And lots of things come into play. And as a person who has had her own pets, who has had many decisions that I've had to make on do I treat, do I don't treat, when, and how I'm going to let my pets go, I will tell you, and it is the hardest thing to do, but if you listen to your pet, because you know, when they start to say they're tired, when they start to have difficulties that you can't overcome, when you start to feel it in your heart and think it in your head at the same time that this isn't okay anymore, you're there, right? And sometimes it's the hardest thing to accept that that's where we are. I do try my hardest, and I've only been successful twice in my life now, to make the decision before we hit a point of true discomfort or pain, right? I don't want my pet's end of life or my patient's end of life to be scary. I don't want it to be stressful. I want it to be as graceful and calm as possible. I want my families to be able to be there. I want them to feel like they have some control in making the end okay. Because sometimes we can't make the rest of what's happening okay, but those last moments we can make okay. So what I would say is if you are looking at your dog, your cat, your horse, your bird, your ferret, your rabbit, any of your precious, beloved companions, life partners, soulmates, and you're at the point where your heart and your head are saying this isn't okay anymore, then you can take one of these quality of life scales and you can see if what you feel and what you see is truly there. And then sit down with your pet and talk to them and listen to what they're saying. And if they say, I'm tired, and if they say, I've tried really hard, but I can't anymore, it is okay to let them go. And it is so much more graceful and calm to do it before anyone is scared or stressed. And it's not an emergency, and it's not in the middle of the night. And you can pre-plan end of life. You can talk to your vet before you know it's going to happen. So when you get close to that time, you don't have to make a phone call. You can text, you can send an email, you can talk to at-home resources like Lap of Love. They will help you through the planning process. And the decision to have it at your house or to have it in a clinic is deeply personal. We have a lot of our patients who do it in clinic really because they're comfortable here. We have a lot of patients who like to do it at home because they don't want their pet to take that one last trip. So thinking out how you would want the end to be at home or in a clinic or in a car or at the beach, right? Just somewhere reasonable that it's not scary, not stressful, and deciding how you want it to happen. And that way you have the time to plan. You can do your fun activities. You can do your beach trips. You can feed them their favorite diet every night before you make that decision. But it is more graceful and less scary if you can make the decision one day before they say they're tired and scared. And if you have questions, please talk to your vet. Please talk to your vet or reach out to resources like Lap of Love, or if you have other at-home euthanasia services in your area, they can talk you through this as well. And just remember, a lifetime together does not stop with goodbye. It just makes the end okay and your memories as beautiful as possible. Have a nice day.